Instead of having a papu ki chai or charcha, we are having a coffee and a charcha. Good evening, friends. This is your host, Chef Raj Gandhi from Papu Ki Chai or Charcha. The weather of Bangalore is beautiful, rainy and nice, so we thought of having a cup of hot coffee. And here we are at Dip and Drop, which is at JP Nagar, Bangalore. And we'll be soon meeting the owner, who was a food influencer earlier. And from being honest food influencer, he started his honest coffee place. So let's enjoy a hot cup of coffee in this beautiful weather of Bangalore. This episode is also being sponsored by Cornell India Limited, who are manufacturers of hot and cold equipments for industrial and hotel industry. Hi Gurdeep, I'm Chef Raj, you know about me.
Absolutely.
We were passing by from this place in JP Nagar and we saw your place, and then I remembered, oh, it's Gurdeep's place, so let's go and enjoy a nice hot cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
So it's a pleasure to meet you, and looking forward to have a nice
V60. This is a V60.
Okay.
Black coffee, the best way to consume coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love my black coffee. Yeah.
I'll just pour you a cup.
Great.
Because filter coffee is basically coffee that's brewed with a medium. It could be a paper filter, it could be a cloth filter, it could be a sieve. So you just ensure that the coffee grounds don't pass through the water, the brewed water that comes through into the cup. So end of the day, that is filter coffee.
Right.
But of course, in South India, where the land of coffee, the concept is a bit different.
Right.
But this is again a method that is almost 100 years old.
Okay.
And people used to brew this before the invention of the boiler.
Okay.
So this is not something new, because people get confused that it's something new age brewing techniques that was not there earlier. These are much older than what you're actually consuming now.
Right.
So it's just that it was lost midway.
Okay.
Now it's gaining traction.
Right.
Yeah, because this highlights the quality of the bean, the roasted bean, anything, it can be shown.
Right.
Yeah.
So this time, instead of having a papu ki chai or charcha, we are having a coffee and a charcha. Wish it was with someone else. Cheers.
Wonderful.
So as we were talking about your journey, how you started, what made you move into, because from engineering to come into hospitality, it's two different fields altogether. So if you can little bit explain.
Taking that shift itself is one very big risk in anybody's career. At the end of the day, what you learn out of engineering, it's about problem solving techniques.
So you have done your studies in UK, you said,
Yes, I did my
and there you were doing some part-time jobs in
Exactly.
coffee places.
Yes. So before that as well, I had an interest.
Okay.
Before actually pursuing my engineering degree, when people would watch cartoons at home, I would sit and watch Sanjeev Kapoor's cooking shows.
Cooking show, oh nice.
And I started working in many such sectors. Whenever I would find a job for 1 month, 2 months, especially during the holidays, when the whites go out, they would want somebody else to take up the job.
Got it.
So I have worked at Subway, I worked at McDonald's and many such places, and that kind of gave me a lot of interest that probably I should go back to my home country and do something in the food that we love.
Right.
So then I came back and I had an education note to clear off, so started working. And midway, I think around 2016, 2017, I started to set up my own hospitality brand.
Okay.
And that's when I got a chance to meet you.
I know, it's been quite some time now.
Yeah. So I met you, and you definitely advised me that this is something that you need to be full-time into it.
Exactly.
And because I was in the construction industry for almost 12 years,
Right.
I thought I was working on a very big project. I thought I'll finish that off.
And then move into this hospitality.
Start something.
Cool. So
in between is what coffee started.
Right, yeah.
By the time when I met you, I was still consuming coffee. I was consuming all types of coffee.
Right.
But 2016 onwards, I started brewing coffee myself.
Okay.
With a simple South Indian filter at home. And I think this was one of the first things that I bought.
What was this?
This is an AeroPress.
AeroPress, okay.
Yeah, so this is like around six years old ago when I bought that.
Nice.
So that is how the entire collection, whatever it's here, is actually over a period of 3-4 months I started collecting.
Right.
And I started brewing coffee just for own personal interest.
Right.
This was not part of the project, that the hospitality which I wanted to do. It was something else. When I met you, I wanted to do something in the North Indian
Cuisine, right?
Yeah. I don't know, because you would have met a lot of people.
Right.
That was the idea in which I was working.
Got it.
Yeah. So then I started changing it to something else, and I was brewing using coffee to fuel those ideas.
Right.
And one day I realized, why should I not use coffee itself?
Right.
As one of
And
the
there you
biggest-
started.
Yeah. So then I started working on it. I think it's from, of course, when you do something on the commercial interest point of view, the projects are taken in a different route. This was more in a passion and very deep-rooted kind of a project. So I wanted to train myself in a
Right.
way where it would be more professional. I wanted to understand how the entire business, the industry works. So I took almost a year of research, and just to showcase, because I would always visit restaurants every
Right.
day, every one meal in a day would be out.
Outside, yeah.
So my wife suggested me, why don't you start talking about it, writing about it? Because before there was the concept of blogspot, where you have your own blog page,
Right,
and
yeah.
that was shifting towards Instagram, where you talk that in a photo, how you showcase it, and probably a 500 word about the description. And that's how I started. I would anyway visit, I would take photos. There was no concept of video then, so it was all about photos and talk about the food which would come naturally to me,
Got it.
with what I would read, with some experiments at home.
Right.
And then I started visiting places, something that was missed by the digital presence. Some hidden gems, what would be there, talk about it. And I would always support the industry in a way where if somebody has set up a place, it could be a chef-driven place or it could be a big chain.
Yeah.
It needs to be spoken about if it's really good, because that's
Exactly.
how the reach and marketing happens.
Agreed.
Yeah, word of mouth is one of the best tools, one of the oldest tools.
And it's the best, I
Yeah.
believe, the confidence level when you have
Yeah.
somebody telling you about the place, it is
Yeah.
100% that you
Exactly.
go with a positive note to that place. Yeah.
So that's the reason I wanted to talk about it. At least weekly, there would be 3-4 new places I would talk, and
Right.
I would get calls from those. It could be a small street cart, it could be a big restaurant. They would call up and say there was so many people who came and visited.
Yeah,
That
right,
was something
because
that
of
would really help. It kind of made me feel good.
Hmm.
So that's when again it reignited that I need to have my own
Got
brand
it.
in this.
Nice.
So I started working on this.
Right.
But the food influence journey has been like one really memorable one.
Right.
Yeah, probably I would start again.
Yeah, why not
Yeah.
once this place?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think this is a 1-year-old outlet that you have. So how good means what were your experience in this 1 year? Positivities, negativities, where you found there were a lot of challenges, and how did you overcome those challenges? Because there are a lot of youngsters who are, being a consultant myself, I set up projects. So a lot of young generation people come to me and then they ask me. So I tell my experience that this is how one should go, but I will, ask you also. In past 1 year, what is your success rate? What are your failures? Means it is always good to tell people that these are the areas that one needs to be little careful or focus on. Because a lot of people ignore all those things. So give me a journey brief about 1 year.
Absolutely. So the thing is, having your own the F&B industry, the way I see is now being part of it. It is a bit misunderstood. People from the outside think it's very glamorous and it's very free. You get a lot of people coming in to talk about the way people come. You get some fame and everything. But that is it's like the grass is always greener on the other side. That is how it is. It is one of the most brutal industries that you will be entering into. You are not going to have any holidays. You're not going to have any fixed time. So it has a lot of chaos around it.
Right.
But if you know what you're entering into, then everything is in control.
Right.
So that is the way it is. Because I would always seen it as, when I see kitchen operation, before I actually started, when I was doing a part-time and everything, I always saw this as a chaotic harmony in chaos.
Okay.
Everything works. It's like kind of a orchestra, a kind of orchestrated chaos, because everything is a split second. 6 minutes is their turnaround time for the dish. 7 to 8 people have to be working around. One fellow has to get to prep the dish. One has to do this. Everything should be in order.
In order, right?
One mess up, that's when the issue starts.
Agree.
So it's a chaos, but it's a fun chaos to be part of it.
Right.
It's like, the way I see it, it's like as if you are a Formula One driver.
I know.
That's how it is. It's a split second thing that you screw up from a well roasted meat or a well roasted dosa to something that's burnt.
Exactly.
So that's one of the kind of an adrenaline rush that you get
Right.
in from the industry. That if you find that out, then that's the best thing.
So Gurdeep, let me know, like we spoke about a year ago, you started this outlet, and it's always that the owner, always feel, as soon as the gates are open and you see a queue, but which never happens. It takes time to grow. So what were your mental, during that period of time, how it went? It was a happy journey to start, or it slowed and then picked up. How it went?
Our initial aim was to be a dining restaurant.
Okay.
So this is one of our first challenge that we faced. Due to some delays in construction, we wanted to bring the product into the market. So we thought, okay, let's find some other route, something which I can bring my cup of coffee.
All right.
So we took a decision sometime in September, and in 20 days we completely changed our business model.
Right.
From being in a dining place to a cloud kitchen where I'm able to serve. And cloud kitchen for coffee was not something that is very popular that time,
Right.
but we thought we'll give it a shot. Why not? Because we have a good product, we have a good delivery platform by Swiggy and Zomato.
Right.
And let's start working on it. So one of the most important challenges in that was, how do you send a cup of coffee that is going to be hot?
Hot, right.
If it is a hot cup of coffee, and how do you send it without any spillage?
Yes.
So one of the core things that we wanted to work on was about the temperature of the coffee, and another thing was the packaging.
Got it.
So we started working on it, and in a matter of 10 days, we actually cracked it. And we had our packaging, which you saw there, met multiple.
Yeah, right, yeah, there.
It's
Yeah,
right there.
yeah.
Yeah, so we almost, even now we have around, I can say like 99.99% of leakage.
Right.
We did a lot of trials from various big brands who would actually send it spilled. I had some brand where they had put up so many plasters that I would need probably 30 seconds to cut those plasters.
Plastic, yeah.
So they were cool about it. So I thought probably people are not addressing it that much.
That much, right.
So let us focus more on it. So that's where we started off. Because for us, ultimately, whether it is packaged or whether it's a dining, that finished product has to be served with utmost honesty and the best possible way that you can do with your ability.
Got it. Along with coffee, so what do you think? What kind of a cuisine, food that you are serving?
We're working on the food in a way where, of course, people want something to bite onto when they're drinking a cup of coffee. Probably somebody might come from work, spend some 3 to 4 hours here. So we wanted to select something that is easy to prep, easy to serve, easy to store. So we started with a few Korean buns because that was one of the trending dishes
Right.
A year ago. And there again, we do a lot of benchmarking in our products. So we again tried from multiple different brands. We were not happy with what is available in the market.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we started making our own from scratch. And today it's one of our best sellers.
Great. Good to know that. So you have happy
So we
customers
started,
now.
yeah, again there is, yeah. And again we had a challenge there.
Okay.
Because coffee is one, food is
Totally
absolutely
different.
unforgiving.
Yeah.
1 day, 2 days, you have to throw it.
Right. Yeah. I agree with you.
So we started making Korean buns. It was getting sold out, and immediately after 1 month, there was nobody
Ordering it. Yeah.
And I had a lot of buns with me. Then there came a day where I had to throw away around 25 to 30 buns.
Right.
Then we thought, okay, fine, we need to work on something. I have buns.
Right.
Let me do something.
Got it.
So we started working on burgers.
Okay, burgers, not bun maska.
Yeah, we do have something. We have a honey butter bun.
Right. So, looking at this kind of concept nowadays, you find lot of youngsters are coming up with these. I mean, I already have 2-3 inquiries for setting up a coffee place, right? So, what is the advice you will like to give it to them with an experience of a year that you carry, and what they should be focusing towards if they're setting up something like this?
I think the only thing is you just have to go for it.
Right.
You should not think too much.
Okay.
Just put your hands into it. Yeah, but you need to have the love for the product, what
Right.
you're going to serve.
Right.
Ultimately, with food or any beverage, it is what goes into it and how it is served one of the most important aspects.
Right.
If you understand what it is, you don't need to be behind the bar to make everything.
Got
if you're
it.
able to build a team and run the show, where you need to know how the finished cup has to be.
So are you looking something for funding and growing as a bigger, like you see Third Wave or other brands which have come in the market? So are you thinking something like that to happen with you as
Absolutely.
well?
Everybody's wants to. In today's generation, it's not about an one outlet place that
right.
you want to have. You definitely want to have more places, and so that it reaches a wider audience. End of the day, that is what you want.
You want.
Yeah.
Right.
So we definitely are building it. We are building our foundation now.
Got it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sandeep. It was pleasure talking to you, and a lot of insights you gave it to us about your business, about your brand, how you started. It's fun to know, and the most important thing for me is that we can tell people, the youngsters, because as a consultant, a lot of people come to me for advice, and sometimes my advice can be right, can be wrong. But when somebody who is already owning a business and talking about it, it helps in a lot of positive way, and people can understand what they want to do and they don't want to do. So thank you for your time, and it was pleasure meeting you and understanding your journey of coffee and your love for coffee, because I saw you making your coffee, so it is like if barista, no barista, but you are the barista.
Yes, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Because whatever you're serving,
Exactly. It has to from your heart, and you should know your job. It's very
a glass
simple.
of water.
Exactly.
If you are serving with your heart and with that kind of
And
love,
I
it will
believe you
have
should
an
know your
energy
job.
around it.
Exactly. You should know your job. That's it. Nobody can fool you there.